Wonder how the lighting is there. Bet the lighting could be a little better. Wait one moment. It's gotta be a little better. Did that help at all? Kinda. Yeah, I don't know if it helped at all or not. But we sure tried. Hello, Jack. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Star. Hello, Maria de Consicawo. Sorry to maul your name, Maria. I appreciate you joining with such a foreign to me sounding name, and I wonder where you're from. Happy New Year to you, Jack. Thank you for joining today. Yeah, kind of a slow start. Maybe that's what happens on Wednesday mornings, about 10:13 in the morning, January 10th. It's a snowy, kind of icy, kind of cold day. I mean, the snow's not actually falling where I'm at, but it's kind of icy out. We had a big slush storm yesterday. Hello, RJ. Hello again, Maria. We kind of had a big slush storm yesterday, and it was coming down. It started middle of the night before, and I got my snowblower started. I was fairly proud of myself that I still had some gas in the garage and was able to get my snowblower started without too much ado. Thank you for sending me the ice cream cone, RJ, and good morning to you, Jimmy. And I snow blowed my driveway. And again, I've talked about it before. I'm on a corner lot, and definitely not one pull. I have a Toro 721 self-propel something or other. And to be honest, I didn't even know if it was a push start or a pull start or what have you. I didn't use it last year. We didn't really get much snow. And I took my dog Holly for a walk yesterday, and realized how much more pleasant it was walking down the sidewalk where the sidewalks were shoveled or snow blown. So I decided when I got home I wanted to do it, and tried it with the shovel for a few feet, but it was just heavy slush. And I found it nearly impossible to shovel, or it would have taken a lot more effort than I wanted to give it. So decided to go to work on the snowblower. And before I headed off to the gym yesterday, late morning, I got it started. I did a quick job, and it only took, I don't know, for the drive. And again, I live on a corner lot with a huge sidewalk. It only maybe took, I don't know if it took 15 minutes. But either way, felt good to get done. However, it continued to sleet, slush, snow, whatever you want to call it, whatever it does when it's 30-some degrees temperature out, and just over freezing, and keeps precipitating. So we got a whole new layer of the same stuff. Before I went to bed, I thought about doing it. I chose not to. I thought maybe I'd do it in the morning. Let me tell you, it's fairly icy now. It's not the way I like it. I'm not proud as a man with a corner lot, crunching around on the sidewalk or kind of walking like this on the driveway. But anyway, these are the things that I face. Star said no snow on the North Shore. I think I saw Belinda Grobel, who's my favorite South African viewer, hop on earlier. It's summer down there right now, so if Belinda's still there, you can confirm to us, and don't do it in Celsius because I don't want to have to break out a calculator. Tell me how warm it is where you are in South Africa right now. But good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Stay at Home with Ken. It's a little show I started, I don't even know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, but I really started the show 4.5 years ago. When I was living in a dark apartment, I was feeling kind of bummed and feeling kind of down, and had a lot of stuff going on, and had a bad inner voice, and realized I needed to fix it. Started talking about my problems, started seeing a therapist. But I also started talking about my stuff, my life, things, challenges on a live video. And people started watching and kind of identifying with what I was going through and saying, hey, thanks for saying that. I feel the same way. I had a single mom reach out yesterday and say some really nice things just because, not every day does she feel great. And she's wondering if she's a bad mom or a bad human or missing something or didn't get the memo that today was the day to feel great. And I think a lot of us have stuff going on in our lives that we grapple with on a day-by-day basis. And I think the less we grapple and the more we accept the stuff, the easier life becomes. And it's something I'm working on and have been working on for 4.5 years, again, since I started doing this show. RJ wants to know if there were windows in the apartment. Well, yes, there was. Well, yes, there was. But I moved out of my single-family home. The woman of my dreams and I were having a little friction. And moved out, missed my family, missed my dog, missed my deck, missed my neighborhood, and moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in a multi-unit, used to be a single-family home. It was fairly nice inside, but it was kind of dark, and it was lonely. And GC, that would be a good word of the day. Too bad I didn't catch it when I said it. GC Mafia is watching, and he's been watching for a while. I was really a total nobody on social media. Not that I'm much of a somebody, but I was really a total nobody till about, a year and a half ago, when all of a sudden I started getting a lot of activity. And some guy named GC Mafia, who's from Detroit and works at a concert hall. He posts a lot of videos of concerts he goes to. Did a very good imitation of my morning show. And it was made with love, I'm sure, but it was kind of funny. And he talked about riding his scooter and saying good morning and how he's going to take his dog Holly on a walk. And he knew the script better than I did. But anyway, so welcome. And hello, Brian. How are you? Bob with 1-0 just joined. That's interesting. I wonder how many Bobs with 2 O's are. I don't know. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, and I call this show Stay at Home with Ken because about 2 months ago, my wife got an offer on a position that could lead to a career that she was really, really excited about. And she started going back to work. We were both putting our efforts into raising our kids and doing content creation. But when this job came along, she got really excited. She went back to work, and she's currently working 4 days a week. And on those days, I'm doing my best to keep the house going, keep the babies safe and warm, get them their rest when I can. And since they were up early today, they were up at about 5:30 this morning, and that wasn't that great, I'll be honest with you. I was very comfy and warm in my bed. And one of the bigger kids started getting ready for school and moving around, and I think it woke up the little ones. And it sends a shockwave through our home. And I got up early. I did a quick first sip video, which I kind of do every morning, which is the one GC Mafia kind of teased me on. And this morning, I called it the first sip feeding Augie and Eve, which are my 2 babies' names. And in it, I'm juggling talking to the camera, yogurt, banana. I even had some Pop-Tarts, but I didn't get them to during the show, and trying to talk to the camera as best I can and share a little bit about life. I figure there's got to be people out there that wake up. Hello, Matt, with 4 T's. RJ, thank you for sending me a heart. But there's got to be people out there that wake up in a home alone like I was at a dark apartment, or even if they're not alone, even if they're married, their mind's active and they don't feel they can fully open up to the people they're closest with, and might want a little connection and might want to share a cup of coffee with somebody. And I think that's the life of my first sip video. Just a guy who lives in Illinois having a cup of coffee and kind of talking about anything. Oftentimes it'll be because at that time in the morning, I usually wake up and I'm kind of anxious and my mind starts racing and I start thinking about life and what I got to do and what's on the docket today. Ooh, docket could be another word of the day, but it won't be. And I don't know. But I share a sip of coffee, which brings me to this. Yes, we got hit with some snow, but it was mostly slush, Matt, with 4Ts. Hey, Jimmy, thank you for hopping on. Again, I started the show as Coffee with Ken. I'm wearing a Coffee with Ken sweatshirt, and I have a Coffee with Ken mug in front of me, and it's filled with a nice hot cup of coffee. I'm pretty sure it's hot because I've been covering it with a coffee filter during my long, extended introduction. And I'm excited to have my first sip at this mid-morning hour, kind of mid to late morning hour, while my Star asked a moment ago, are my babies napping? They are napping, but I'm not totally sure Eve's asleep. I'm calling it nap/quiet time. And they both got up real early. They were both fussy. We fed them, or I fed them breakfast and kind of a half lunch, if you will. And they were both kind of crying, and they both seemed like they needed some quiet time. So Dada took them up and laid them down and gave them their babas and scurried down here, to get some coffee and talk live for a few minutes at least. So again, speaking of coffee, I got a nice hot pot of coffee, but a cup of coffee in front of me, and I'm excited to have my first sip. I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. No, it's not the Sumatra, RJ. It's the peppermint mocha. I don't have to explain why I have a new bag of peppermint mocha. I've talked about it before. I tend to be frugal. I like good deals. I don't mind spending money, but I love good deals. And 2 days ago, I was at Target knowing I needed some coffee, and there was a sale on all Starbucks coffees, and they were offering them for $7.99, a fairly good price. But they took an extra $1 off the gingerbread and the peppermint mocha. So I bought a bag of each of those, and I'm drinking the peppermint mocha right now. Yeah. Thank you, Jack. Jack said he loves seeing my Target video. Yeah, I shot a video. It's funny, Jack. I did that. I do most of my videos on one take. All my first sips and a lot of these are clips. Matt says Mariano sometimes has them for $5.99. Well, I haven't seen it because I often go to Mariano's, and their prices are inconsistent. Sometimes they're very good, but you can't go needing everything on a list because some of their prices are very expensive. And day in, day out, Target's going to have lower cost groceries top to bottom, but Mariano's will have some good sales from time to time. And again, I was talking about the Target video I shot. I did that on a few takes. I at first had done it. I was trying to get set up. I was there to get diapers and a few food products, coffee, and what else? Cereal. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But and I set up my camera in the diaper aisle because we're running low on diapers. By the way, for anyone wondering, we like to buy diapers from Costco. They got a great quality diaper by the Kirkland brand, which is their store brand. And if you're willing to buy a lot of them, they're pretty cheap. Target store brand diaper is pretty good as well. And I went up and picked up a pack at Target and picked up some other baby thing. Set up my camera, walked in with my cart. Didn't really have a script, but I gave my best effort at whatever kind of thoughts I had in mind. I didn't like the way it sounded. I felt it was too short, and I kind of ended with a dorky smile going, huh? And it was about appreciating the little things in life. And seriously, though, when I pulled into that Target, I had a Yeti, my purple Yeti, in my car, and I'd been to that Target numerous times, and I realized that their shopping carts had cup holders on them. And I go, ooh, I was really excited. Ooh, I'm going to bring in my Yeti of coffee with me, and I did. And honestly, it made the shopping much more pleasurable. And again, I do appreciate a cup holder on a shopping cart. RJ's asking if I want a Stanley. Is a Stanley a type of Yeti type thing, thermos sort of thing? No, I think my daughter has a Stanley water cup, or my stepdaughter. But I'm very happy with my Yetis, and don't know why I would want anything different. No, Jack. The phone did not fall off the shelf, and Matt with 4 T's asked, Walmart's cheap, or said Walmart will always be cheapest, or Aldi. Yeah, Aldi's cheap. Aldi's a great deal. It's good for certain things. And a lot of people say, oh, their quality's just as good, and that's just not true. That's just not true. You get a Aldi brand Oreo versus a real Oreo, and you're going to notice a difference. I'm not dissing Aldi. Don't anybody yell at me. I don't need any hate mail or haters in my life. But I've done enough trial and error. Their pretzels aren't quite as good. Their chips aren't quite as good. They're all edible. They are all edible. And I hate to be sound elitist, because I grew up in the 70s when generics were the rage, when generics were coming out. I think that's when they were invented. And my parents had 4 kids and were on a fairly limited budget, as a lot of us did in the 70s. But they came out with products that were just in a 2-liter bottle of Coke. It would have a white wrapper and it would say like cola on it. And that was really it. And the bread would come in a white bag and it would say bread. I guess if you need any explanation for what bread is, I mean, if you want to know the ingredients, maybe they had to have the ingredients on, I don't know, or not. But all I remember is just saying like cola or, bread or what have you. And we survived and lived through the 70s, and it was a good time to grow up. Well, we kind of have a fun audience now. It started a little slow. But we've gained some momentum. We got about 30 people watching right now. Again, it's going to be a cold week. RJ wants to know if my house had a toilet or did I have to go to the outhouse. That's a great question, RJ. Somebody born in 1987, I believe, when I was a sophomore in college, might ask such a question. No, we actually did have indoor plumbing in the 70s, I'm happy to admit. But things were certainly different. Life was certainly different. And honestly, I don't know how we made it. I don't know how we got by without cell phones and microwaves. I mean, I think the microwave is an underrated invention. The remote control obviously is wonderful. The internet's kind of handy from time to time. But again, it was simpler times. And if you had a question, you just had to ponder it for a while. Mama Ularik said she was born in 58 and they also had indoor plumbing. You had to ponder things for a while. Every 10 years or so, a family would, I don't know where they came from, maybe door-to-door salesmen would come in and sell you a book of encyclopedias. And we had all the Encyclopedia Britannicas. But just think how quickly information changes nowadays, and how you need, if you get online and you Google anything, if the article's from 6 or 8 months ago, a lot of times you're going to think it's, thanks, Jack, you're going to think the information's outdated. You're going to need, hey, but I got the iPhone 15. This won't answer my question. This is for the iPhone 12. I need the latest and greatest information. And to have all the world's information at the palm of your hands and never needing to ask a question or do a calculation or wonder why for a while, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. And again, with artificial intelligence, I'm a little frightened by it. I don't know. I mean, there's movies about it. Terminator. Holy smokes. How did Terminator know? Who's the guy that did Terminator? Same guy that did Titanic, I think. How did he know that artificial intelligence was going to become a big thing? That was, 35 years ago or before it did. And again, my dates might be off, but Terminator came out in '84, and it was about the computers taking over. We got them artificial intelligence. They got smarter than, or got defensive, realized that people might shut them off, and took control. I'm a little worried. My wife seems to have no concern. She's a younger woman. She grew up with the internet. She was born in '83. She uses it all the time, and as a guy that thinks he knows his way around a keyboard and can use the written word to his advantage, having, I don't know, all the creativity in the universe at the palm of our hand. I don't know. Seems kind of funny. I assume artificial intelligence can make paintings. I don't know. I assume so. Hey, well, Ann, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I go live, try and go live most days. I had a show called Coffee with Ken that I used to go live at 8 o'clock every day. And due to life changes, I'm currently staying at home with two babies. I have a 1-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. And they are upstairs sleeping. Although, to be honest, Eve's enjoying her quiet time. Since she's just over 1, she doesn't know all the rules to quiet time. RJ, the 5:45 slot was a hot slot. It was often for a while. And from February to September of last year, I was working at a super Target. And I had a whole lot of volatility going on in my life. And my hours at Target, where I started at 7. So what I'd do is I'd go to Starbucks, get a coffee, go out on the street corner and start talking live in downtown Naperville. And that was kind of fun. We'd have people walking by. It'd give me a chance to strike up conversation with passersby or show up on different locations or be in the beautiful town that is Naperville. And I'm sure I'll do it again when the weather warms up a little bit. But the thought of going out there today doesn't sound that enjoyable. Mama Ularik's in Schaumburg, not too far away. They're already making paintings with AI and copying the masters, believe it or not. The lady I asked to be my grandma. RJ, you do. You watch, I was sitting outside of an Einstein Bagels, and this really sweet lady came in, and I forget what made her so wonderful, but she was really sweet, and she was saying a bunch of sweet things and saying how wonderful of a grandmother she is, and I'm 55. My grandmother passed, 30 years ago maybe. And I wanted to know if she'd adopt me as a grandchild. She didn't take it. She didn't accept me. What do I think about the storms coming? Lieutenant Dan, I'm not aware of any storms coming. I did look at the weather app and did see that the high is going to be below 0 early next week. And I would love if we really got 10 inches of snow on Friday. RJ's saying we're going to get 10 inches on Friday. I would love it. Yesterday was kind of a little bit of a disappointment for me in that I wanted to see a lot of snow. In the afternoon, again, my wife has off Monday, Tuesday, and so I have a little more freedom to, work out or go to Starbucks or do what I got to do during the week on those days because she can be home with the babies. And I was sitting at a Starbucks yesterday afternoon, and huge snowflakes were coming down. It was pretty neat, and it looked real pretty. But when I got home, there wasn't too much. It was mostly slushy stuff. And, it was mostly slushy stuff. So I would love to get a whole bunch of snow on Friday. I'm looking forward to the cold weather. I was walking Holly this morning, and I do a video that I call a hey there video, where I'm just walking along, oftentimes walking with my dog Holly, and I'll look at the camera and say hey there, and then just start talking and see what comes to mind. This morning when I was walking Holly, I was thinking, hey, it'd be fun to do that in below 0 temperature and see if I could come up with anything creative to say. And see if somehow, some way, I could spin it into some inspirational nugget. The fact that I'm freezing my butt off walking outside. When was the last time I was in a library? Not too long ago. There's I have 2 little ones, and libraries have great kids sections, and fun little toys and play areas and play books and what have you. And I was taking Augie there at least once a week, last fall, last summer, last spring. So it hasn't been too long. Naperville's got some great libraries. Once I get a little bit organized, they have great, like, I don't know, book time or movie time or play time for kids where all the moms and stay-at-home dads get together and bring their little ones together and play together. But I need to start visiting the public library. You almost should, Lieutenant Dan. I think we take things for granted just because we can read a book on the phone or, I don't know, download almost anything. There's something about being in a library that's peaceful, that feels good. I used to love reading the newspaper, and newspapers have changed a lot over the last 20 years, but even the last 3 years since COVID, they've gotten smaller and more expensive. And so I no longer get the newspaper, but it's nice to sit down in a chair and open up a newspaper from time to time and just kind of, I don't know, relax. Yeah, and they always have Wi-Fi, and, there's some people watching. It gets a little lonely at home. I feel it gets a little lonely at home. I like going out and being out and about, and I don't know, people watching as much as I can. And it's hard for me now that I'm doing my stay-at-home video and that I do spend so much time at home, at least on the days where I'm spending them at home. And Wednesday, Thursdays are days I'm going to be home. So I appreciate you guys joining me, keeping me a little, providing me a little company on this Wednesday late morning. I still hear Eve talking upstairs. Hello, Eugenie Kimball. Thank you so much for joining. I still hear Evie talking a little bit. I think maybe our quiet time should come to an end because she's a sweet little angel and she just probably wants to cuddle up on her dad's lap. And hopefully her brother Augie is asleep, because when Augie's asleep, Evie and I Evie gets to pick what we watch on TV. And there's nothing more that girl likes to watch than Frozen. And although she's just over 1 year old, I don't know why, she's mesmerized by it. And frankly, I don't see how a baby can tell the difference between Frozen and any number of other Disney movies or cartoons. I tried to watch Bluey today because somebody recommended it here on this show. And I've heard it can be entertaining for adults. We watched Frozen 2 for the first time the other day, RJ. There's a lot more singing in it. But anyway, somebody recommended Bluey to me the other day, and I tried that the other day, and I tried it again this morning. Augie wasn't happy. And you can, roll them around on the floor, but, sometimes it's easier having Elmo and Cookie Monster help me entertain the two little ones because they keep me pretty busy. But Paw Patrol. Wow, I used to watch a lot of Paw Patrol with my older girls. For anybody new, I have two older girls from my first marriage that are 17 and 14. I was talking to my oldest yesterday and saying it was her first day back at school and for her second semester senior year, and she's going to be off to college, and kind of makes me sad. Hello, Patricia LeBlanc from Howell, Michigan. Did I like Chase or Marshall? I do not know the names of the characters. I think we started watching it at the end as my girls were almost heading to school. I mean, I kind of know them. There was like a cop. There was several ones. Thank you for following the host, Patricia LeBlanc. I so appreciate that. I really do. If anybody is new here, please follow the host. I go live a fair bit. I have a lot of fun. Some of my videos might be educational. Some might be downright stupid. Some might be silly. Occasionally, a thing or two of inspiration comes out of me because I'm a guy that's had a lot of highs and lows in life, and willingness and an ability to share them that seems to make a difference. And that's why I'm doing this. I was a realtor for 17 years. I was a stockbroker for 10 before that. I had 30 years of my life I was doing nothing but chasing a paycheck. And it feels good doing something that I think makes a difference and hopefully means something. And I try and make it mean something. It means something to me. And again, whether it's just companionship or knowing you're not alone or, I don't know, boost of confidence or something. I appreciate being here, and I appreciate you guys so much that follow me and hop on my lives and watch all my videos, and maybe follow me on other social media platforms because I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So anyway, I'm going to have one more sip of coffee. That might be all I have for you today. I'm feeling what helped you going through the tougher times. Oh my gosh. About 15 years ago, I think, or no, 12 years ago, I was going through my first divorce, and I was sitting at breakfast with my dad, and this was very early on in my spiritual journey. And I'm going, Dad, I don't even know what to do. And he's always been a man of very few words. And I wouldn't say he's particularly inspirational generally, but he said, well, you just keep going. And I took it to heart, and I have kept going, and I have felt some very hard times. I mean, I got a million things that have helped. Well, first of all, I was drinking alcohol and smoking pot every day. And I think I was doing it to soothe the demons that were inside, I don't know, my heart, because I'd say my chest, because there were times when anxiety would feel so great that my chest wanted to explode. But again, I think there were even more in my head. I remember used to drive around, and I don't know, never being content at all, and just thinking horrible thoughts, how the appointment that I was headed to was going to go crappy, or I was going to sleep horribly that night, or whatever you could worry about, I was worrying about. And I think the only thing that got me through for the big chunk of my life was drinking alcohol and smoking pot. And but at some point, I realized I didn't like who I was. I was a guy that was just soothing the pain inside with drugs and alcohol. And I stopped doing either just over 2 years ago. And life hasn't been perfect. Life still has its challenges, but at least it was a major step in the right direction. Beyond that, I'd say listening to positive affirmations has been huge for me. Again, 4.5 years ago, I woke up one day and I had horrible things going through my head saying, you suck, you're ugly, you're a loser, you're broke, you got nothing going, nobody likes you. Just whatever negative things you could imagine saying to yourself. Well, thank you, TP. Whatever negative things you could say to yourself, I was saying. And I go, wow, this isn't good. I knew that was wrong, but I'd never really caught myself doing it before. I was just living with that inner voice. And again, I've talked about it before. I popped on some positive affirmations and went for a walk, and some guy's voice who said, I'm Alexander, and started telling me that my smile lit up a room, and that, I brought joy to the people around me, and that I made a difference, and that, I was in the right place at the right time, and everything was working out for a reason. And all of a sudden, his voice watered out my voice of negativity, and I started going, my smile does light up a room. I do bring joy to other people. And I started walking, seriously, I kid you not. And I used to do it every morning. I'd pop on my positive affirmations and strut along. I was living by the train station here in Naperville at the time. And this was a time before COVID when a lot of people were still commuting. And there were huge crowds waiting for the train every day. And I just kind of walked through them going, good morning, good morning, good morning. I kid you not. And have continued to listen to positive affirmations. I pray a lot more than I ever did. I started going to church just before COVID and just after COVID. And I believe we're not alone here. I believe there is a reason. If you're going through struggles, there's a reason you're going through struggles. And there's a reason. I tell you what, life's not perfect for me right now. Life's not perfect. There's friction. I live with 5 kids. I have 3 stepkids. I go, oh my gosh, why do they take their shoes off and leave their bag in the lobby or in the entryway every day? Little things like that, all sorts of things. And I get frustrated, and I get, try to deal with it, but I'm kind of OCD. I like things going the way I want them going. And when you're living with a bunch of other people, it's not always going to work that way. And I think God's putting me here and giving me these challenges, and there's bigger ones as well, so I can continue to work on myself and continue to be okay and find some more patience and be more understanding and be a little calmer and be okay. Because again, I think oftentimes, I know most of my life I was striving to be a state champ runner, or, or get the best job, or make the most money, or be the most awesome, or have the most beautiful wife, or whatever goal you might have. Whatever goal you might have, I wanted it, but I realized even when I was making a lot of money, I wasn't happy, and there were some really dark times. And I don't know. Again, life's not perfect for me now. I think I've gone to see therapists would be another thing besides prayer, positive affirmations, and what have you. But I go see a therapist maybe once a month now, and that feels good. I did a video about it the other day. I think it was pretty funny. I was apologizing to my therapist for dumping on her so much. Because sometimes you'll be talking to a friend and you'll be dominating the conversation, and you might just be bitching. And I try not to bitch, but I think part of the reason you pay the therapist is to bitch and to have them not kind of an impartial, unbiased opinion or just an ear to cry to. And and again, I kept apologizing, going, sorry, I'm being so negative. It's kind of funny. So that's helped a lot as well. And again, I think doing the show's been important for me. Again, I wake up every morning, I have my first sip of coffee, and I just kind of say whatever's on my mind. And I don't know, some people get bored of my stuff and go, wow, you said something similar to it yesterday. And if that's true, maybe it is, but it's because I needed to say it again. And it's just my little adventure that is life. And it was learning. I feel good about what I'm doing. I feel this makes a difference. I feel somebody out there needs to know about sobriety or anxiety or mental health or prayer or positive affirmations or maybe just the Naperville Library. And I shine a light on things that sometimes don't get a light shined on them. And again, I hope I'm making a difference. So one more sip of coffee. I only say one more sip because it's not hot anymore. And I got a whole pot of hot coffee there. And Eve has been not enjoying her quiet morning quite as much as I wanted. So I do want to get up to her and bring her down and maybe watch some Frozen and maybe have a couple snacks and maybe try again to put her down for a nap early in the afternoon and enjoy my day as best as I can. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining. I have a lot of fun doing this. It always makes me feel good. I so appreciate you guys for joining and all the interaction we've had. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks, Dan. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. If it snows 10 inches on Friday, I'm hoping it does. That'll be exciting. I'll probably do a video playing in it. It's supposed to be below zero all day next Monday. I'm planning on doing a video walking out in the frigid cold temperature and me trying to spin that into a positive some way or other. And okay, I'll pray for snow after 5 p.m. just so you can get home first. Yeah, I remember commuting. I used to work in Chicago, and I would come out and maybe visit my family or friends out in the suburbs, and it could turn what could be a 45-minute drive into like a 3-hour drive. And when you're in the car for 3 hours, even with a positive attitude, it's hard to spin it into a positive. But I think if I was to do it over again, instead of searching the radio for a song I liked, I'd probably pop on some positive affirmations and work on your mind and work on some peace and work on yourself. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Again, this was Stay at Home with Ken. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Hello, Stacy. I appreciate you, Stacy, hopping on as I'm signing off. I always feel a little rude doing that. But I appreciate you hopping on anyway, Stacy. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you follow my page. Hope you enjoyed the time we had together today. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Did it.